All right. Start out. First of all, before you get to boxing, you want to warm your body up. So what I do is 5-minute warm up. Come in here and stretch. So 5 minutes, basically, you can do like a slow jog or a faster walk. But just want to get your heart rate up, get the blood flowing in your body, and then come in and stretch because you don't want to come in and basically stretch cold muscles. You know, there's gonna be injuries and everything like that. So if I come in boxing, I'm not sure where you're gonna be boxing yet, but you should have access to some type of treadmill or something like that. Usually, you will wrap your hands. So usually the wraps would be rolled up, but I was lazy when I got done and I didn't wrap it up. But what you're gonna do with the wraps, start with the thumb, go under the wrist 3 times. It's 1. Make sure it's straight. And while you're doing it, you want to basically make sure your hands can stretch out without circulation cut off. I'm not putting a whole lot of pressure on it, about medium pressure, because it's going to be your support. 2, then 3. What you're going to do, you're going to come over top, like so. So, middle finger, index finger, boom. For me, I like to go back around the wrist. There's a lot of different ways to do it. I go back around the wrist, come back. Boom, this is the right hand, by the way. I come back on the right side of my middle finger. Boom, come back around again. Then I go right between my pinky. A couple different ways to do it. As long as it's nice and tight, so basically you have each hand like so. I like to kind of make X's. So what you're gonna do here, go back around the wrist again. What you're gonna do, go right in front of the thumb. It's 2. Now you basically wanna cover your knuckles up. This is where you're gonna be a lot of impact. You don't have to have the wraps up front. You can get the wraps that comes on already. But for me, I've been doing this for a while, so I like to get the wraps. So if you got some extra slack, that's how much slack I got. Just gonna wrap it around the hand. Boom, nice and tight. Now I'm start coming around the wrist, finish up here. Sometimes you may have more slack, less slack. Just kind of know what you got to do with it. Know how much you need to wrap around the wrist. There you go. Starting out, what we're gonna do, I like to start out with shadow boxing. Shadow boxing is super important. If you're gonna be really get into boxing, shadow boxing is one of the things where you look in the mirror, you do shadow boxing at home. It really helps you kind of know where your hands is moving, your hand placement, your feet, everything. So get where I could. All right, so first thing we're gonna do, this is 1, this is 2. For me, I'm gonna call the right hook, it's 3, 4. So 1, I'm doing a 1, it's a jab. Basically, the jab is for separation in boxing. So what you're doing is basically trying to get separation from your opponent. So when you're doing this, you want to reach out far as you can. At the same time, you know, if you can almost touch your opponent, you know you're right. When you throw your right, when you get to that next, you're going to be able to get there. So, boom, step with it, all in one. See how I'm breathing out each time? Breathe. Each punch you have to breathe. If you hold your breath in, eventually you're going to get exhausted. You have to catch your breath. But breathing is super important with this. So step, reach, boom. While you're throwing it, another thing, it's a lot of different small techniques while you're throwing it. Instead of just a straight fist, you want to twist. Twist. All your fists twist. Step, twist. Boom. All right, got the 1, now we're gonna work 2. So 2 is super important. We're gonna start out with you over-exaggerate the pivot foot. That's gonna help you get your hips involved. So what we're gonna do, so you got one, you got two. The one, just stepping straight into it. The two, boom, you twisting this hip. Twisting the hip. So here, boom. Hands are always here protecting you, even if you're just shadow boxing. Boom, even if you're here, you wanna bring one back each time. But back to the two. Flip. Same thing. It's not super necessary that you have your hands balled up the whole time. Sometimes when I'm shadow boxing, I don't. But just to get a good technique and kind of focus on what you're actually doing when you're gonna have the gloves on, just ball your fist up. Remember here, boom. Pivot the foot, pivot the foot, pivot the foot. And get good, you don't have to really worry about the foot, you just worry about the hip. Because the main is in your hips. All right, so 1, 2, and we're gonna work on our 3. So basically that's a hook. With the hooks, body shots, you got a low hook, high hook. You can do a hook from the top, left hand, right hook, whatever. So hook, the main thing I see people having a problem with is not keeping their elbow up. When you're throwing a hook, you wanna be here. Boom, same thing with the pivot. Everything you're gonna pivot except the one. So when you're throwing your right, your hook, boom, pivot, bring it back. Same thing with the left. The left is gonna be a little more unorthodox and a little more less coordinated, so you gotta practice on it. But like I said, shadow boxing is one of them things that help you get everything nice and sharp. And I'm in a basically right-handed stance. You want for your left-handed, you want to switch up. Later on, we'll switch up. Boom, you'll have your left foot up first. And this gives your power to your left arm a little bit more. Sorry, right foot up first. This gives a little more power to your left punches. So basically, now you would jab with your right. Your one would be your right hand. Your two would be your left hand. So here, same thing. Boom, boom. And hook, hook. So we gotta go through it. We're gonna go back to the left stance. Boom. 1, 2, hook. 1, 2, hook. Speed it up if you want to and get good at it. Boom. Just focus on your 1, 2. Focus on breathing. Can't breathe out too much. Just watch boxers and hear and listen to them when they fight. They're breathing each time. They're not holding their punch because basically it's help you keep endurance, keep everything, your cadence and everything up. So here. All right, now we're gonna add the left hook. I'm not gonna give you a whole lot on this first video because I want you to get the basics down. Because when you're fighting, you're boxing, these are the basics. 1, 2, your one sets up everything else. Boom, get your space. Boom, set up for everything else. All right, now we're gonna work on left hook. So 1, 2, right hook, left hook. Pivot, pivot, step, pivot, pivot, pivot. All in the hips. All right, so I want you to record yourself doing this. Send it back to me. Let me critique it. Let me make sure you're doing all the technique right. It's the only way we can actually can see ourselves doing the work. So it's kind of like playing football, watching film. It's the same thing. So let me know if you have any questions about the video. I can, if you can't hear something, I can always voice record over it. But let's have fun with it, man. Let's go. All right, so this right here is just me boxing, starting out my 1, 2. I may add a little hook or jab somewhere in there, but yeah. Stop. Anywhere, anybody, them boys got work. All right, so I already done about probably 7 rounds or whatever. So this is gonna be your next day or your next technique you try to work on. It's gonna be basically setting up your hook shots, body shots, uppercuts by using your jab. So remember, start out with left foot pointed, boom, get a stance, hands up, hands gonna be here. Right now, we want you here, boom. Left one come out, right one come out, facing each other, protect your face. All right, so what I'm gonna do, basically let's feel out some of my opponent moving around. I'm gonna try to see where he at, boom. Even if I'm close, I'm almost hitting it, boom, I know, boom, I'm gonna jump into that hook. So you don't have to be as close here for a hook, because the farther your punch has to carry, the stronger it is. People think you're close, get more power, but actually, your velocity building up is way more powerful than close body shots. So coming here, boom. Boom, he's moving back. Even if you can't even get there, you're making very touch, boom. Boom, jump into it. The left, boom, jump into it. Jab it out. Even if it's with the right. Do right hip too. See how my hand came up with placing it? Reach into it. Straighten the hips. Boom. You don't gotta be close. Boom. Reach. In the distance. Set it up. Boom. Alright, let's do it with right foot, southpaw. Now, this is 1, this is 2. Boom. Might take a little minute, you might just be jabbing out. See where you at, see where you pointed at, boom. Boom. Or you might come here and go straight into it. You know you about here, boom. Pick it. This is your right leg. Your left hip is gonna be a little more powerful, your left arm is a little more powerful. So, boom, boom, boom. Jump into it. Jump into it.